Can't tell if that's in focus or not. Sure it's focus on something. A safety tool. Oh, it's all it is a safety tool. Definitely not hunting. Drizzling a little bit. I can't put these napkins on top of the phone. I mean the camera, just to make sure it doesn't get all messed up in the water. Now, what have I been doing? I think it's, what is it, Sunday, I think? Sunday? It's Canadian Turkey Day. Thanksgiving for Canadians. Knuckles. Sarah's sick though. I think she canceled dinner plans. We're gonna have some neighbors over. Unless she changed their mind. I don't know. I've been gone since about 5 in the morning. And chasing some elk around. This one particular spot is so hard. It's so hard to get your eyes on this herd of elk in this one area here. They're not hunted legally. They're definitely poached a lot. You can tell just by the reactions. They are terrified of humans. But I did manage to, I could have swore I heard something right down below me in the bottom of the valley here from up the mountain earlier this morning when I was hiking. I could have swore I heard some elk down there, so I hiked back all the way down the old logging road, jumped my truck, drove around the other side of the valley, hiked down to the riverbed, calling, nothing. Looked in front of me, there's a chunk of elk right in front of me in the timber, and I videotaped it. I'll show you the video. And then I was basically pinned right down. I think that elk was only about 50 yards from me. And then on the other side of the creek bottom's right there. I saw another piece of an elk going up on the other side of the bank. I'm like, oh, and it was too thick. There's nothing I can do to get my camera on him. I have my tripod, my big Canon camera. So I snuck back up the bank, and I hiked back down the valley, got in the river bottom. I slowly started pussyfooting all the way up the river, and I guess I must have blown it, or by chance they went across the river and I couldn't bump into them. I'm trying to find this huge bull that I want to video. And then I found this horrendous trail with a great big gouges in this fir tree that this big bull, I guess, decided to attack. I've actually videotaped that with my phone. Here's that. So I thought, holy cow, this trail needs a trail camera. So I hiked all the way back up the side of the frickin' mountain with my camera. Got to my truck, threw all my camera gear in the truck, grabbed a trail camera, made sure it was working, and I hiked all the way back down. And if they all stood and start squawking again, I got no camera. So I threw my phone up and I got them squawking on there. And then so I set the camera, got back to my truck, and I'm like, hey, I got my drone. So I flew the drone up, and I got him on video. Check this out. Not the big bull, but at least I got some cool video, and I got to see who it was. Check this out. So that was cool. Cool for me anyway. And it's a mystery where the big guy went. I'll keep trying to find him. I've got other trail cameras I put out in some new worked over trails I found farther down valley. And off I went. Now my security tool. Oh, a lot of people have said, why a blue gun? And I said that too when I first got it. But I was in guide camp. I'll tell you this about the rifle real quick, because I know a lot of people want to know about my guns. I'm not a gun guy. It's just a tool to me. That is a Winchester 300 short magnum. It's made by the Montana Rifle Company. It's a custom built gun. It's got some weird coating on it. The stainless came with a coating. And it was a blue McMillan stock. Bowling ball blue, I called it. That I shoot left. That I had a 338 Ruger. 338 Ultramag. Monstrous gun. Got it. I use it for grizzly bears, etc. when I have to. And my barrel split on it. I think it's because my friend made up these hot loads and I found some hairline cracks in the end of my barrel. Oh no, no gun. And it's tough to get a left-handed gun, so I was on the satellite phone down to my friend who is a gun freak, and he found me this custom built left-handed gun, and it kind of looked like a disco gun to me. But I bought it, and sure enough the thing was a frickin' laser. But I don't care what they look like, I really don't. I've coated that thing and hand spray painted a few times with black paint, green paint, now it's all worn off again. Maybe we'll try some camo tape on it next time or something, I don't know. But anyway, that's why it's blue. Believe me, that thing is a laser. It has seen some action. Grizzly bears, record book moose, stone sheep, elk, wolves, lots of wolves. Lots of game with that piece. So there you go. That answers your question. I didn't pick the color. I had no choice. I just grabbed the gun when I had the opportunity. Now, where am I? I am right in the confluence of two valleys where my friend, my First Nations friend from the coast, who also has seen the Sabe people 2 or 3 times just down the road. And she videotaped that craft above her car at 5 in the morning, right behind me. And she's seen it twice. The first time, I believe, she videotaped it, got out of her car, it was dead silent, and it took off. And the next time she saw it again, same place, above her car, and she said that time all the lights just went out and she couldn't see nothing but black sky. Does it make me nervous? I'm still here. I'm here by myself, but does it scare me? It makes me concerned. I mean, it makes me aware, right? I'm aware. And I'm very thankful for being aware that that can happen right here, and that has happened. For me, take from it what you will or leave it, but for me, that happened. That was legitimate. I accept it, and I'm aware, right? That's what more can we have? A positive out of it anyway. At least I've got that knowledge shared with me that really went down right behind me in that sky right here. But it's not stopped me from coming out, but it's making me, I'm more alert. I'm alert to my surroundings. That's fair, right? But it's foggy this morning when I got here, still foggy and drizzly. So I couldn't see much of a sky, and I got here an hour before I got seeing light out too. Now moving along, let's get some more people heard, shall we? I've got some drizzling, real heavy fog, almost drizzle rain. I think it's more heavy fog and mist. It's probably going to screw up the lens in the camera. Whatever. Just a heads up. Now listen, this is titled Questions Answer ? Hello Steve, you may not get this for a while, but it would be great if you took a look, gave some thought, and after your mind implodes, spread however much of it you want. Please no name. I came across this website, alliesofhumanity.com, some time ago, and boy did it wake me up. They also have a YouTube channel by the same name. You could also search for Marshall V.M. Summers or his son Reed Summers. Its message is essentially this, that, quote, visitors, end quote, from other areas of the universe are here, as so many of us have suspected. What's the random frickin' chance that email is going to be about this after mentioning the sky behind me? Contrary to what many folks would Folks wish or would like to believe or happen, their interest in our world is purely commercial. They are enterprisers, interventionists of the sort our history has shown to be catastrophic for an indigenous population. In this instance, all of humanity. They are not our friends, not our saviors. We are nothing to them. Nothing. Their interest in us is as a transactional labor force. They want our resources and cannot exist on Earth, but would like to. They will take advantage of all the precious resources and biological life and entities this lovely planet supports. Anyways, this just skims the surface of their motives and machinations? Must be a typo. I can tell you right now, the conspiracy theories have their origin in this intervention. They keep people distracted and away from looking at the truth, keeping us in ignorance of their presence. If you look at the material and it gives you pause, please share it to your viewership, of which I am one. This is the, quote, secret cover-up, end quote. People all over the world somehow sense but cannot define. Instead, they place blame everywhere but where it belongs. We have many, many gifts these visitors do not have, but are working hard to acquire. Ah, if they only fit in. Well, they're working on it. They are conquistadors of a new era. Remember, technical mastery is not the same as high spirituality. All the best to you, Steve. Please don't think this is crazy. I've wanted to send you this for some time because you have the reach in the audience. Be well. Blessings. All right, there you go. Shared. I haven't a clue what you're talking about myself, but I'll look into it once I get home. There you go, you sleuths. Dive at it. See what you come up with. Or not. Is it or isn't it? Is the title of this next email? It's bipedal, as in beetle. If that makes sense. I'm almost 70. I studied languages and punctuation throughout my life. Take it to the bank. Bipedal. Stay safe. JNK from the UK. Okay, gotcha, man. Bipedal. So there's a handful of people out there that just need that pronunciation. Nailed by me, right? My mouth doesn't mesh up smoothly all the time with my brain and my eyeballs, but I get it across. Bipedal. That's funny. Moving along. I don't know what this is about, but I'm going to read it. This is titled Bigger Perspective. You can see my phone getting covered with water. I hope that camera's alright. I'm afraid this will be a bit long. First, I hope you and your family are well. You may use my name, Tom Cottrell. These are my beliefs, and anyone may take them or leave them as they desire. I've been following your site for a little while and find it refreshing for your honesty. I agree that we are not being told the truth about what is going on in our world today. My interactions with Sabe have been very mild in comparison with many who write in, but I do find it curious that these beings are still not accepted as real, as people. Curiosity is my downfall. I love a good puzzle. I find it hard to accept anything as fact if it just doesn't add up. You might want to read all I have to say and see if this is appropriate for your audience. I'll get back to Sabe. I promise, but I will roam wildly before I do. It is all related. First of all, an example from my life. I was trained in electronics by the U.S. Navy. The very first class, our instructor told us, we'll be teaching you electronic theory from this manual. This is only a theory. We know it's not really how electronics works or is incomplete. We have been teaching this for many, many years now, and if you learn this theory and apply it to your work in the Navy, you'll be able to troubleshoot complex system problems to the faulty component and repair the system. If at any time this class you perceive another way in which a different theory may be closer to the true function of electronics, please bring these thoughts to one of your instructors. We'll be very receptive to any other theories. I found this a very interesting statement. This theory is taught in every institute of higher learning in the world and is known to be incorrect or incomplete in some way. Really? I've worked using this theory's principles for many years in several industries. And this theory's principles do work in every case. Who derived and supplied this theory, and how do we know it is false or incomplete? Next, another example of non-truth. How many months are in the year? 12, you say? What is the last month of the year? December, you say. The last 4 months of our accepted calendar are September, October, November, December, right? In Latin, September is 7, October is 8, November is 9, and December is 10. The calendar was changed long ago. The first of the year should be around March the 19th to the 21st, and Halloween would really be practiced, as the pagan holiday was, around December 22nd. The church changed the calendar when it introduced the Julian calendar long ago. Oh, and they even offset the year by an unknown amount of time. Somewhere between 2 and 10 years is believed. From these examples, it appears that someone has been feeding humans false information for a very long time. Do you think? It is my belief that the removal/warping of information extends across all aspects of science, technology, medical, everywhere. Now for another rabbit hole. Do you know what the circadian rhythm is? It is the internal clock of our body expressing the 24-hour day/night cycle of the planet Earth. Do you know what happens when humans leave Earth? Their rhythm changes from the early 24 hours to a little over 29 hours. This happens to be the circadian, C-I-R-C-A-D-I-A-N, rhythm of Mars. So, it is my belief that humans did not evolve on Earth, but on Mars a very long time ago. It's my belief that Sabic people are the true Earth people and evolved to live comfortably anywhere on the planet a very long time ago. As such, they have been present and have knowledge of happenings from long ago to present day. That knowledge is why their existence is being suppressed. In addition, the Sabi have an understanding of the electromagnetic spectrum of vibration that starts down at infrasound and goes up in frequency beyond ionizing radiation. The light we see and the sound we hear are a tiny fraction of this bandwidth. I do not know conclusively that Sabi evolved on Earth. They could have come here from elsewhere. They have, however, been here for possibly millions of years. They know the long cycles of our solar system that our solar system experiences and the consequences of these cycles. Sorry, quick look around. As usual, by myself, right? Now for the really deep shit. The ancient Egyptians had a calendar more accurate than ours. The first of every year was identified by the rising of the star Sirius, directly in the east on March 19th, approximately. I told you our calendar was not right. Directly in the east on March 19th of the year, every year for thousands of years. This simple fact leads to a very disturbing conclusion. First, does everyone believe that the planets circle the sun? Well, they do, kinda, but not precisely. The sun and the planets circle around the center of the mass of the sun, balanced by the mass of all the matter circling the sun. This is called the barycenter of our solar system. This point is somewhere near the surface of the sun, and to be honest, I'm not sure exactly where. The sun circles this point, and all the planets circle this same point. Not a big deal, but what if there was another sun in our solar system? Or more than one more? Yeah, remember the Sirius rising in the same place on the same date for thousands of years? That means this Sirius star system is part of our solar system. Anything not traveling through space with us would move over time, as the constellations and the other stars do. So, our solar system is circling another barycenter that is the balance point between us and the Sirius star system. Sirius A is 2 times the mass of our sun. In addition, Sirius B is equal in mass to our sun. These stars we know are revolving together. How many more are involved? We don't know. Why has this not been taught in astronomy classes around the world? See, my mouth doesn't mesh up that smooth sometimes. What if when we rotate around this barycenter, when we at the closest point to this Sirius system, the increase in gravity, at least 3 times the normal, maybe more, has a negative effect on our planet Earth? We do not know what the effect would be. Could be nothing, or could be a pole flip scouring all signs of life from Earth's surface. I do not know where we are in our trip toward the Sirius system. We don't know, but if Sabe have been around for so long, they do. I believe they are people on this Earth that are aware of all this, but are constrained, or alternately do not want to tell us the truth. There has been an effort to edit/warp all the information in all the books and databases of the world to remove any truths that would allow mankind to foresee this future. It has not been done perfectly. There are many more smart people following this site, much smarter than myself. So you see, Steve, if Sabe were acknowledged and people interacted with them, then knowledge would be exchanged and secrets would be revealed that have been kept hidden for thousands of years. Those secrets I have illuminated, or others just as profound. Or, of course, I could be full of shit. Everyone should examine the truth from their own lives and, in cooperation with others, find the truth. I have tried to be as brief as possible and hope my brevity has not led to confusion. The same ideas and many, many more have ramifications for far-reaching throughout our society. I have fought an internal battle I have fought an internal battle to limit my mouth, lol. Thank you, Steve, for all the work you do to keep this site growing. Connections are crucial to all. Tom Cottrell, West Virginia, USA. Well, there is a handful, Tom, and there is a whole pile of sleuthing and looking and reading and learning for someone who may be curious of what you share, to look into it. Right? I absolutely agree that everything is a lie. I've learned that myself on my own. Everything is an absolute lie. We are not a free species. Not a chance in hell are we free to do as we please, or to learn everything, or we're not even free to have all the known knowledge that's available, should be available during our lifetime. Why is that? Why is that, right? Let me keep reading. Before I start babbling. This next one is titled Sasquatch Encounter in Oregon, 1995, east of Oak Ridge, Oregon. You may have read this, but it's not marked as read. Hi, Steve. Love your channel. Watch daily. My encounter was on a summer morning while I had taken my truck and little chainsaw on a firewood run for my camp. Not the usual endeavor for a woman at 50 years old. I had to camp about 20 miles east of Oak Ridge, out of Forest Access Road, all the way to the end. Where the road ended was a grove of old-growth trees more than 250 feet tall. Here, 2 large creeks merged, and the trout fishing was incredible. Peaceful, quiet, and serene. I never felt uncomfortable there. I felt watched over. One morning, while out on a wood run, I stopped at a spring pond on top of the mountain. At the end of that pond, my favorite place to have lunch. The birds there would land on my hand to take food. They never saw humans in that area. They had no fear. And as I was eating my sandwich, looking out over the forest just below me, I saw someone walking towards my position in the distance. It looked to be a person, but as it drew closer, maybe 300 yards away, I realized by the height, the length of its strides, and that it was ducking under the lowest branches of the ponderosa pines that are the only trees growing in that locale and altitude. You know how high up the lowest branches of that tree species are. I stood there watching it come closer. No fear in me, just an incredible feeling of awe and joy. It stopped and just stood looking at me from maybe 50 feet. After a few moments, I raised an arm in greeting, and a few seconds later, it raised its arm, turned, and strode off through the forest until I could no longer see it. To this day, I feel it had caught my scent on the wind that was blowing past me into the direction he came from. Curiosity drew it to seek me, a human female high in the forest alone. He had no harm in mind for me, or I would not be here. I watched your video tonight where you spoke of the First Nations people in Alaska and their experiences and then spoke of a man who had become Buddhist and their feeling that the hairy people are not all evil, just like humans. There are just too many stories coming in about positive experiences with the forest kings. I left that mountaintop that morning with the knowledge that they exist and a feeling of wonder that he came to visit me out there. I've not been to that mountaintop since that day, not because of fear, but because of respect. It is their home out there. I never told this story not just to avoid ridicule, because I can care less if people believe me or not. I'm a great deal Cherokee, a civilized person. I never spoke of that day because I feared for the safety of the Bigfoot family that lived there. I do not want some yahoos going hunting to kill them a Sasquatch. Your show may have started off how to hunt, but what it has turned into is a forum where people who have had strange experiences out in the forest can tell their story with no fear of being singled out or ridiculed. Singled out for ridicule. Thanks, brother. I can tell you my name. I am Kathleen Dunham, and I am proud that a forest king showed himself to me. Keep up the good work, Steve. We need men like you to tell the dickheads to just F off. You're spreading truth. You are spreading truth as related to you by people who have no hidden agenda. Just stories to tell about strange goings-on in our national forests. I'm 68 years old now. I was 50 when I saw my friend out there, long enough for them to be safe from hunters. Yeah, I rambled a bit, but I want it to be easy to visualize. Gotcha. I appreciate that. A lot. I appreciate that a lot, you sending that to us. There you go. Another neutral bumping into each other, and I don't think it was sent myself. They know we're here. They know we're there. Well before probably when we get out of the vehicle, right? I guess. Check this lens out. Use my little napkin here. I don't think it needs a wipe, does it? Maybe a little one. Now. Who's next? Who's next? This next email is titled Mind Speak. Steve, I'm a 72-year-old man. I live in north central Texas, about 5 miles south of the Red River, between Oklahoma and Texas. My parents were full-blood American Indian, and my father was white. My mother's parents were full-blood American Indian, and my father was white. I'm writing today about this topic of mind speaking to the Sabe. I've had a few strange things happen to me over my lifetime. Excuse me, but that can wait for another time. But I believe what people are saying about the ability to mind speak to the Sabe, also about people praying to God for help, and the Sabe leaving when the prayer is invoked. It seems to me that the Sabe know who God, the great creator, Jesus, Holy Spirit, or whatever people want to call the one who is above all and in all. My point is if we would ask God or pray, speak, or mind speak to him to use his power to send these evil spirits packing, I just think that if we all began to ask, he would hear and grant us that wish. I just want to thank you for your honesty and attitude about what is going on all around the world with all the dishonest leaders. I know I've been asking for about a year now, and I truly believe the more we can get to ask, the quicker the one on high will answer. May God, the Son of Holy Spirit, protect you and Sarah and your home and business. Your friend, Dennis the Menace. Appreciate the kind email, Dennis the Menace. Shared, my man. Shared. Your message has been shared with the people. Take for what you will or leave it. Right? Now, where am I going? I got a bunch of unreads in here somewhere. My phone updated my notes, thank God. Just for you. Now, lots of here that are just for me. All right, it's kind of starting to drizzle a little much. So I'm going to just read this one more, and then I'm going to book it out here and head her back to the ranch. Hey Steve, thanks for creating a safe place where we can all come together and get some weight off our shoulders. My name is Johnny B. Calhoun Jr. Feel free to use my name. I'm 57 years old, a Marine vet, 6'6", 265, and not much scares me. Back when I was 17, hunting in the North Georgia mountains, I had a meeting with something that was more than able to take me out. I was bow hunting one afternoon. I had a ground blind. I was wearing a new ghillie suit. I was covered in Tink 69 and hoping for a big buck. Tink 69 is a buck attractant. Anybody doesn't know that? The darkness was coming in and I could only see the open path of what I will call a wagon trail. It led to my blazer, maybe 300 yards from where I had set up. As I was headed out, I heard leaves rustling to my left, ahead of where I was headed. I had a light, but my eyes had adjusted to the low light of the hardwoods. I could hear it moving towards the wagon trail, and I got my light out to at least hope to see what was there. Where I was hunting, there has been many black bear sightings. I figured running around in a ghillie suit, smelling like a deer in the rut, and to top it all, I had a buck grunt collar on my neck and just had to give it a couple of hits. The walking stopped about 25 yards ahead of me on my left side. When my light lit up an eye shine somewhere between 8 and 9 feet, I knew it wasn't a bear. No tree to be in, and it had started to really make me worry. When my light hit it, it casually took 2 steps across the 8-foot opening. I think I was frozen, and I couldn't have moved if my life depended on it. And by now I was thinking it probably did. But this thing crossed ahead of me, and up to the right side and behind me. When it figured it was where it needed to be, it let out a scream that caused me to piss myself. But I think it knew where I was, and it gave me that opening to get to my truck. And just to say, I had no problem making it to my truck, and I fully believe it knew what I was doing. It knew what it was doing. It knew where my truck was. It knew it was giving me a chance to make it to it. I managed to get out of there and also kept my mouth shut, which if you knew me, you would realize I have a problem doing. After that, I started carrying my Ruger 44 mag, and anytime I was in the woods. This incident stopped me from hunting that spot. Now when I go into the woods, I have my 460 Magnum with 3 or 4 speed loaders. I'm sure that wouldn't stop what I've seen, but it might just give me that extra time to haul ass. Feel free to use my name. I'm to the point in life where you can believe me or not. I know what went down that evening. It'd be nice to know more, but I'm not going to go looking for something that could make me disappear when it wanted to. Again, thank you for what you're doing, giving us a chance to tell our stories. You hang in there, be safe, and good luck. You can use my name if needed. Okay, Johnny, appreciate you, man. I hope you're out there still hunting. I'm glad you're still going. I don't blame you for not going there. I'm guilty of the same for a lot of places. That side of the valley I started off this morning in the dark. I don't know if you can see it. Side of that mountain about halfway, well, yeah, a quarter of the way up. Now I don't know why, every time I come here, it's hard for me to put my back to that timber on that side of the valley when I look down this way. Don't know why, don't even know why I'm sharing that. Doesn't mean much, does it? But just take a note of that. I feel the pressure, right? I feel the pressure all across that side. I'll notice there. That is north. Don't know why, but I do. I feel fine on this side. It's usually where I find most of the elk on this side. But for some reason, I just feel the pressure over there, and it bothered me. Like I'll go up there in the dark an hour before seeing light, and I'll sit up there. I'll get out of my truck and walk up the road a bit, and I'll look over the bank, and I'll rip out some elk calls, and hopefully hear some calls return from down below, but I haven't yet. But I don't stick around over there too long. I don't know why. But I go with the feeling, right? I feel that pressure. I don't feel comfortable having my back to that mountain when I'm on it. My back to that timber. So I leave, right? So I leave. But it's so weird how, what am I? Probably I don't know, less than a mile away from there. Why do I feel more comfortable here by myself? Why do I feel uncomfortable over on that one by myself the same day? Isn't that odd? You gotta admit, that's kind of odd, right? It's odd to me. I've hiked up this mountain here in the seeing light all by myself. I don't know how many times. I don't give a shit. I go up into that timber up in there, throwing down trail cameras, following trails down the bottom along the thick creek bottom where I can't hear anything, where I typically feel insecure because you can't hear anything, it's too thick, but I don't feel insecure. I feel great. I cruise right through. They're intent on what I'm doing, and I'm stoked at what I'm doing. I'm looking for tracks, following trails. Not a worry in the world. And then I go up on that logging road over there and I put my back to the timber and it bugs me. See what I'm getting at? Isn't that weird? It just doesn't make sense. But I like to think that I am in more in tune with my sixth sense than not, and I go with it. Right? I go with it. I don't always grab my security tool when I get out of the truck, but and put it beside me. But I felt I needed to this today. Why did I feel I needed to grab this thing and throw a few rounds into it and lean it within, and put it within grabbing distance? When other times I've come all the way up this old deactivated logging road with just a camera and an elk call, calling away with no gun, no worries about it. See what I'm getting at? It's just odd for me to have those feelings and have those actions. When I try to make sense of everything, I try to keep up on myself. I watch myself. I watch how I think. I watch how I react, and I take note of it, how I feel. And it sure is weird how I can be all over the map in this small area. It's odd, right? Who knows? Who knows why? But that one time you ignore your intuition on bringing your security tool, it's probably the day some weird shit's gonna go down, right? And weird shit's gone down for me without a rifle a few times in the past. So I don't question it anymore. I bring it. There you go. Don't be ashamed to grab a security tool when you need one the odd time, no matter how tough you think you may be or brave. It doesn't matter. Your guts tell you to grab it and bring it, you grab it and you bring it. All right? All right. Now my intuition's telling me to hurry up and get my ass home or I'm going to get in trouble. I'm going with it. I'll be back till later, tomorrow.